Yeah, I think this is a tough time to when you have a veteran team and you're about 14, 15 practices in, and they already know everything and they're ready to roll and they want to play a game and they want like, outside competition, and you got to keep things creative and come up with new drills or new gimmicks or new you know consequences for not winning a drill or something like that. So I did give them a couple days off for fall break and to keep them fresh, and then we crushed them pretty good yesterday. We got them real good, and we lost their legs, and then when fatigue makes a coward of us all. So then we started being cowardly in some of the stuff. And the one thing about Miami that I think that we definitely have instilled as a culture here is like you win. That's what you do. So if you're playing the practice guys, even if they're 6'5", and even if they're quicker than cats, and you're supposed to find a way to win. And that's what we got to establish. We know the system. Everybody's comfortable. They know their roles. They know what we're doing, hitting shots or whatever. But I'm starting to throw a fit about the fact that we're supposed to win. Every time, if you're Miami, you got the U on your chest, you win. That's what we do. And so that's where we're at right now. And we'll clean up some other things. We got a close scrimmage this weekend, a close scrimmage next weekend, and then we're ready to roll. So. Yeah, it's been really nice. I mean, I just had about what time is it now? I did about 45 minutes to an hour of film with Jessica Thomas. She just constantly texts and says, "Are you free to do film?" And we squeeze it in whenever we can. The questions that are being asked to me right now are so high level. For the October questions, they're pretty high level. What are we going to do if this situation occurs and I got Motley on my left and Bailey on my right? And you're like, oh my gosh. I mean, great questions. So we're advanced there. It's just my job to keep them fresh and keep them eager and not like, oh, okay, practice number 15, 16, 17, 18, 30 practices before you can play. So we're more than halfway through. And, I don't want to put a lot more in because it tends to get murky. And I like to play fast, and then to play fast, you have to play clean. So we're just going to keep our pace up. Well, it's funny because like our depth is an absolute strength, and I honestly feel, and I have 9 players that returned from that played significant, and some newcomers that are going to add a lot. So I mean, I think we're 11, like for real. Like you could put lineups together, 11 possible starters. If depending on who you went with that day or something. I've never had that. Okay, but then that can also be a weakness because you can't figure it all out just yet, and I want to give everyone a look. Well, everyone goes in, 11 people think, well, I just had 2 turnovers. Well, 11 times 2 is 22, and that's a lot, and that's kind of what happens. And I know that. I traditionally play that many players, but I don't have that many threatening to be starters as I have on this year's team. Exactly. And, keep in mind, and I'm not complaining at all, but we can do some workouts in the summer, and we can do team workouts when they first show up. We can do 2 hours of team workouts. So, first day of practice where you have midnight madness and sleep, those days are gone. I mean, we can do team workouts, in times where we haven't been able to do them. So that's where it's just like we're amping up. But I don't go more than 4 days in a row and try to do 3. And even though you only have to have 1 day off a week, they give us some flexibility. I'll go 3 and then off and 3 and off and keep them fresh. Oh, Serena and Sarah. Sarah got she had a little bit of sickness right before break, and so she really couldn't participate in our last scrimmage at all. So they're this is a tough team to be a freshman on. It's tough to say, well, what's my role going to be? Sarah's pretty obvious because she can pick and pop and shoot the 3, and she's got good size, 6'1". And we missed that last year. That was the one piece of last year's team that I thought prohibited us from winning big games, is a swing position that could stroke it. Nicole Sterling did that for us and did it really well. And, Sarah does that. So we got to get her fresh. And then Serena's she's gonna need some work, but she's really skilled and she can run like a deer. And she's 6'5", 6'6". I mean, she can really run. And if she runs, even though yesterday she ran and did a great play and missed the layup, and she was so mad at herself, I said, look, if I'm the other coach and you came in and you just ran like that fast, I got to get back. So you've helped Miami even if you missed a layup. Like you're doing something. You ran so fast and we can just throw over the top to her. it's going to make us faster. It makes the other team, maybe they only send 3 to the boards now instead of 4, and you just help Miami with your missed layup. Like, those are things that they have to appreciate about themselves that they bring to us. So 2 different dimensions from those 2 freshmen, which is great. They need to win the weight room challenge first. Yeah, they do. They both knew that coming in, but when they win that weight room challenge, then they'll start challenging the upperclassmen. But they're very good IQ, high level IQ for freshmen, and our system's tough. And that's not the thing. It's not the system. It's just the physicality of it all, which we knew, and that's why I think they're both going to be very, very special for us. But we knew that they could learn the system and get in the weight room and get stronger. Well, Jessica and Adrian are the captains, but we have this really neat, we do a lot of leadership stuff. I'm into, like, we do surveys of the team. We have speakers come, we do videos, we challenge them, all sorts of exercises. Anytime I can introduce adversity, and then see how we respond to it, I'm going to try to generate leaders. So we have this great group underneath Jessica and Adrian, the leadership group with Mesa, Laura, Kayla Prather, and Erica Davenport, and those 4 are tremendous leaders. And I always think if you make your seniors your captains, they already have enough on them, and then you ask them to be the leader all the time, it kind of drains them. And I've seen it happen so often in my career. So when I have 2 senior captains like I do, I try to name a leadership group right underneath them. It was like when Stephanie and Pepper and Stroman did that, and they freed up, Bebe and Mo to just play their senior year, and they kind of took care of the other stuff. So that's what we're doing this year with that leadership. Hi, I'm good. Yeah, I used it. I probably overused it. We did our first spring meeting when, the season's over and you give them some time, and then you gather, and we use this. There are no do-overs. I feel like basketball is a very forgiving sport. I love it. I think that, you can say, I got next, or just get it back, or, well, you turned it over, I'll just go steal it back. There's ways to forgive. And I use soccer as an example of the least forgiving sport. One wrong head turn in soccer, you lose the World Cup. Well, we're going to have 90 other possessions to make it up, right? So we almost were a little too forgiving. And so I tried to put that pressure on this team very early, and that was also my opening theme, that there are no do-overs. And so our first team meeting this year, my video montage from the spring, I added in our press conference from our NCAA loss, where Motley saying, if there were just 30 more seconds in the game, I think we would have won. Jessica said, if I'd have just had that one extra shot. Laura's talking about her technical. So they had these regrets, and I wanted that fresh in their mind. But at this point, I'm going to shut up about that a little bit and let them play, because this is a whole new team with a different identity. And, they don't. The pressure's already there. The pressure's there in our non-conference schedule. I don't have to create fake pressure. We're opening at Kentucky. We're at Ohio State. What else are we going to do? It's there. So I want them to enjoy it, have some fun. Yeah, Kayla's a little bit out right now. Prather, just she had some swelling in her knee. We got to get the swelling out. But other than that, knock on wood, looking good. I think you end up you coach less, and you let some runs happen, negative runs. The practice squad, or the teams that, early on you want to fix everything that you see wrong, but like the reality is the way they've changed the rules in women's basketball. And I'll remind you, our game flows a lot more. You have less timeouts and less control. You play in a team like Kentucky or at Ohio State or at St. John's, or these teams that you're on the road and the crowd's going to go wild, and the coach can't call a timeout every time. So I'm watching us throw the ball away a little bit, and I'm letting it go instead of stopping, because, we're going to look up and be down 10. That's the reality. So we got to be able to come back from that. So I'm letting a lot more go that I normally wouldn't, just because I know what we have early on, and we got to, you'd like for it not to happen, but I'm not going to be able to stop it. So we got to just play through it some. Yesterday Mesa said, can we huddle? And I thought, yeah, okay. And she grabbed up team and probably said some words that, it wouldn't translate, and just got him. And I was so proud. I thought that was a very big moment in practice yesterday. She is a warrior, and she's willing to do all the little things, and she's just asking that everybody else has that same mentality. And I thought that was a really fair request by her and really high level and very smart. She's not going to ask anyone to do something she's not willing to do, but she's big, 6'4", and moving around, diving on the floor, and everyone else can do that. And she just reminded them of that. It was really cool. Not at all. And then Laura and I had a conversation. It was hard for Laura last year. It's hard to be a point guard and then have upper-class captains above you in your same position and still lead from that. But honestly, when Laura's in with Jessica and Adrian, they give Laura the point guard spot. They give it. They don't even. There's no debate. She just takes it and they play. So I'm like, you already have it. Like, they gave it to you, so take it. But you don't just defer then. You have to be the point guard when you're in, and you have to tell them where to go and what to do. And she's doing that. So they've really evolved. They're very, very special. Laura? No. I'd like her to be, and she will. I mean, she kind of needed a little bit of permission, maybe. She's got the most, she wouldn't not do it. I mean, she's got the strength to do it. And yesterday I asked her to do it, and she heard everyone in the world, and maybe Broward County heard me ask her to do it yesterday in practice. And I'm going to keep asking her loudly, and it'll come.